trenches, perfect volleyball weather, although very hot down on center court. I was just down there. The sand is absolutely baking. There's only a slight breeze today, so the wind should not be a factor. It could get very interesting early on. This is going to be a game of ball control.
It's good words that you say, Dane. The heat could well be a factor. These are abnormal, record-breaking temperatures across the whole of Vienna right now. 37 to 38 degrees Celsius expected to be the top temperature today. First referee is David Crescentini from Italy. Second referee, the local ref here, Martin Karner. Now, as our expert in the commentary box and Olympic champion Dane Blanton has pointed out, that this is a tough match. But Dane, I think it's fair to say that in the pre-season competitions or the pre-World Championship events on tour, the Czech duo have had better results than the Americans, and a lot of people are expecting the Czechs to continue their unbeaten track record here. Let's take a look at the USA first.
There's a good look at Lauren Fendrick, 35 years of age. Resides in Hermosa Beach, California, 6'3", 188 centimeters tall. As I mentioned, fourth place, her best finish. And there is April Ross. Some call her the dominant United States player. So much success, a silver in 2012 with Jen Kessie, and of course with Carrie Walsh-Jennings in 2016. A bronze medal, so she has all the experience. On the other side of the net is Barbara Hermannova, 180 centimeters tall at 26 years of age, 5'11", 2 career wins, and on a hot streak here. Her best, a 33rd in the World Championship. She has already outdone herself there and looking for much more. Her partner, Marketa Slukova, 29 years of age, 180 centimeters tall. She has 3 championships under her belt, so the experience together between Slukova and Hermannova may give them an edge, but remember, April Ross has been doing it for some time, trying to partner with Fendrick and get to that top of that podium. A huge matchup right here. Remember, the winner moves on and the loser would go home with a 9th place finish.
This will be an intriguing clash. The Czech Republic versus the United States of America. The temperature continues to rise on the sand here at Centre Court. 54 degrees Celsius, 129 degrees Fahrenheit, and it will continue to rise throughout the afternoon. Both these teams undefeated so far in this World Championship competition. First point on the board. Could it be America? Will it be the Czech Republic? Hermannova, a little tip ball there. Great play from Fendrick. Both teams come to the start of this opening set fully focused and playing excellent beach volleyball. Oh, and it's a little fumble there. Oh, and that is, well, a little bit of luck, but Marketa Slukova digging for everything, full of commitment, all 4 players on court, but the first point on the board for the Czech Republic.
Wow, little fireworks right out of the gate. A scrappy first rally, just to show you how much these players want it. Look at that up right there. And then the aggressive set ends up coming over the net, and the United States just not ready for it.
Some spectacular saves from all 4 players, but that is the dig. And the save from Slukova. She's delighted. A little bit of luck maybe. But there's a clear example of the intensity that we're about to witness in this match. And here is Marketa Slukova, just 29 years of age, from Prague. A serve, she'll take that with a smile. 2-0.
Remember, Nick, I said the keys to this match would be ball control. You have to handle the serves right there. A couple of errant serves by the Americans, and all of a sudden the Czech Republic out to a 2-0 lead. The Americans need to win the blocking battle, and Lauren Fendrick, a fantastic blocker up at the net.
Well, America tried to go over on 2 unsuccessfully, and then it's a repeat tactic from the Czechs, and they are successful, 3-0 ahead. The USA just need to keep their calm here, stay cool, and try and get that first point on the board. Again, opting to serve Lauren Fendrick. Had her hands there, didn't she, Marketa, but didn't quite control the ball.
And that's got to feel good for Lauren Fendrick. After a few giveaway points, the Czech Republic have really come out on fire, but finally the USA on the board.
Now here's the experience of the two American players. April Ross. Oh, and that's just a little too deep. I know, Dane, you'll say you like that aggressive serve. There's plenty of time to get it right. You've got to miss a few to score a few.
Yeah, and what I love about it, she misses the ball just deep. So a decision had to be made to let that ball go by the Czech Republic instead of serving it into the net. If you're going to miss a serve, miss it deep.
Another good play from April Ross. 2-4 United States of America.
April Ross, such a physical player, so strong. She's also got that finesse, but her power game is definitely her signature.
Now here's her partner, Lauren Fendrick. Girl from Hermosa Beach, and that will give Lauren a little bit of a confidence boost too. Good serve for America. 7 points total on the board. Side switch. Players changing ends of the court just to make sure there's no advantage, either from the sunlight or the wind or breeze. But the breeze is actually blowing across court rather than from end to end. Hermannova sets for her partner, Slukova. Good cover from April Ross, who now looks to finish for the USA. Lovely shot, nice cut on the ball after a slightly wobbly start. They're finding the rhythm and groove now, USA.
Yeah, they're starting to settle in. We see that a lot here on center court. Getting out here, little nerves, little jitters. You gotta get into the flow. Remember, the players don't have a lot of warm-up time on center court. They warm up on a court outside, then they come in, and within 5 to 7 minutes, they are in the match. The first whistle has blown, and sometimes it takes a little bit time to get acclimated.
Markita Slukova with service. Czech Republic brewing with confidence, having beaten the number 3 seeds from Brazil in their round of 32 match. And Hermannova, confidence clearly shown at the net there.
Again, an errant serve reception going over the net. The Czech Republic, their strategy is to go to Lauren Fendrick. So she needs to get those arms out early, move those feet, and pass it just like that. You have a good pass like that, your offense moves much better.
Oh, good play from the Czech ladies. 3 points clear. It's a key break point, this, for the Czech Republic.
Good control by Hermannova at the net. That soft block, she controls it to herself, and then the put away.
Another deep serve to Lauren Fendrick. They're trying their best to keep April Ross out of this match, and so far it's a successful tactic, but Fendrick shows some blocking skills at the net. Puts that ball down to the Czech court and sand, and that's a big point back on the board for America.
Lauren Fendrick out of the University of California, Los Angeles. A great indoor player right there, showing her blocking strength.
April Ross serving for the USA. Well, that was lucky. That's her second service error, but they're getting closer and closer every time. It wouldn't surprise me to see the next April Ross service come up as an ace. Hermannova serving for the Czech Republic. Service error for the 28-year-old, again out of Prague. 14 on the board, side switch once again.
The United States have got themselves back into this. Remember, it was a 3-0 start for the Czech Republic. The U.S. settling in, but serve reception has been a challenge, and they haven't put a ton of pressure on the Czech Republic from that serving line just yet.
Lovely set and finish from Hermannova to her partner Slukova. That 3-point advantage is back with the Czech Republic.
Czech Republic, really a solid team. Finished 17th in Rio in the Olympics last year.
Good shot from April Ross. Doing everything she can to try and get involved in this match, because the Czech opposition are doing everything they can to keep her out of it. They know she's the star player, quite possibly one of the star players of the whole World Championship here in Austria. And so they're targeting Fendrick and limiting April Ross's play on the ball.
And that ball stays on the side of the Czech Republic, and it's going to be a point for the United States. So this cut shot by Slukova just never clears the net. Had the right idea in mind, but poor execution.
A good jump float serve short from April Ross. Oh, that's the perfect weight on that shot from Hermannova, right on the baseline.
Look at that shot right on the tape. Remember, any part of the ball hits any part of that line, it is ruled in.
Oh, that's a little bit of luck. Dane calls those the trickler. I call those painful points for the opposition.
Yeah, you do not want to be on the other side of the net. When that ball trickles over, it's just so hard moving one direction, and then the ball completely stops midair on the top of the net.
Hermannova again with service. They're targeting Fendrick with the service, who now attacks for the USA. Both Czech players drop off the net. Hermannova goes over on one. Oh, good block from Slukova.
And that ball is off the top of Slukova, so the Americans really have to work hard to get the point right there. Not a lot of first ball side outs happening right now. The ball crossing the net multiple times before that point being finished, and the Americans still down by 2.
Fendrick serves at Slukova. Good block from Lauren Fendrick. Valuable point for the USA. We go into the technical timeout. It's the halfway point of the first set, and the players get a 30-second break. Very important for the USA to go 10-11 rather than 12-10 down at halfway, and that could make a big difference to the second half of this opening set for Team USA.
Yeah, exactly. Remember what I said, it's ball control and blocking. So ball control seems to be a challenge for the United States right now, but Lauren Fendrick right now starting to step up her game at the net and the blocking airspace.
I have a blue aqua.
Now let's go down to the virtual Red Bull Arena. This is the service placement, Dane, from the Czech team, and we can see only one of all of their serves in the first half of set 1 has gone to April Ross. It's all going to Fendrick. This is one of the tactics to keep April Ross out of the match.
Yeah, everything going to Lauren Fendrick. That's what you do. You got to pick a player. They think they can score more points off of Fendrick, so you see the percentages, how heavy they're over there. April, the only time that she's been able to hit the ball is in transition if she makes a defensive play, because she's really not getting served at all. It's a good strategy, beautiful graphic, really shows you exactly what's going on, what the Czech Republic's trying to pinpoint.
Fendrick looking to pick it up where we left off at that 30-second stop for the technical timeout. Let's not forget each of the teams can also call their own 30-second timeout, 1 per set. April Ross just caught a little out of position there, got a hand on it, but not close enough. The break is back with the Czech ladies, 12-10.
Beautiful poke shot. April Ross kind of hanging in the middle. That's where you want to go. And then she tries to read, gets a hand on it, but can't control it.
Hermannova sets for Slukova, takes a little look. And because the set was so nice from her partner, she has time to see where the space is and places the ball beautifully.
Saw April Ross go over on 2, trying to get into the action, you know, trying to be an offensive force and maybe relieve some of the pressure off of Fendrick. Doesn't work that time. This time she sets Fendrick a little tight to the net, but Fendrick successful with the joust. So important going into a match with a clear-cut strategy. And it's interesting, some teams will have a strategy. If it doesn't go right for a couple points, they'll make the switch, but very obvious the Czech Republic singling out Lauren Fendrick and trying to score points.
Lovely shot from Slukova. Perfectly balanced, lovely swing of the arm. The USA have no answer to a quality play such as this. Here's the slow-mo.
That ball goes right between the block of Lauren Fendrick. Such a solid blocker, great timing. Great technique.
Hermannova serving. Service error gives it right back to the USA. Remember, it's a rally point scoring situation in the sport of beach volleyball, particularly at international level. Whether you're serving or not, whichever side of the court the ball lands on, the point goes to the other team. Chance here for the USA to get back into this, cut the break down. Fendrick again serves Slukova. Hermannova with the set ball. Over the top of the block, April Ross has it covered. April Ross, now a chance to attack and make sure. If I remember rightly, April Ross played with Jennifer Casey in Stavanger in 2009, took World Championship gold. She's showing that kind of experience and calm there, Dane. Beautiful shot.
April Ross, such a force. Always had a lot of success in Stavanger, winning the World Championship, as you said, with Jen Kesey. And she's got quite a serve. Voted the top server on the FIVB Tour multiple times, and there you see the block of Lauren Fendrick. So the United States getting back into this one by the net play by Fendrick.
And I think it's the Czech Republic that have called the timeout. Czech players thought they'd got this under control, but I believe April Ross keeping Fendrick focused, drawing on her experience, and keeping the pressure on. No question, the Czech ladies on screen have done some serious giant killing 24 hours ago, knocking out the Brazilian #3 seeds. But how much has that game taken out of them? By far their biggest game of the tournament, Dane, and it's difficult to keep that momentum going when you've given 101% plus in this heat and then have to come back and fight as equally a difficult match the next day.
That was great. The wider she goes, I like you wide. Like, don't let her get it by you.
Interesting point you bring up, Nick. Fatigue, a problem. Possibly so much heat, but you know what? The way this tournament's spread out, playing one match a day, all these athletes are so conditioned that I'm sure that they're ready to go. Both of these teams had that tough matchup in the round of 32. Like you said, Agatha and Duda, the opponent of the Czech Republic, going down, and then the United States had to play their fellow countrywomen, Branna and Day. They won that in 3 sets, 15-11 in the third. So I'd say they're on equal footing in terms of the opponents that they had in the round of 32. And they all look pretty fresh here, even though the heat is just stifling.
Yeah, the talk of the town is hydration. Hydrating before, during, and after every match. Big point on the board there for Czech Republic, justifying the cause of the timeout. Over the top of the block. Lovely shot. Again from April Ross. Keeping the scores all level.
Czech Republic trying to keep that ball away from April Ross. Strategy has been working, has been keeping them in it, but now getting down to the business end of the set. That ball's too close to the net, and Lauren Fendrick will gobble it up, taking full advantage of the overset. That's how you have to put that ball down with authority. Make sure you win the point. And all of a sudden, after struggling the first half of this set, the United States is on top.
Yeah, the momentum's definitely with the USA here. April Ross, who struggled with her serve, now has got it near perfect. A lovely float serve that drops to the feet. Oh, that's a good play from Hermannova in return. This is going to be very close in the closing stages of this opening set. 16 all.
Talk about execution. You couldn't get any closer. That one hitting just the outside of the tape.
Hermannova again sticking to the tactic of serving Fendrick. Fendrick on the attack. Hermannova has a hand to it. Slukova. Oh, with a little touch from Hermannova. Great play for the Czech ladies. At a time when America was starting to turn the screw, they really fight for the ball and win the point.
You know, they're hustling. It seems like they're just groveling a little more than the United States and fighting for each and every point. Very fortunate to get that ball to the outside of Lauren Fendrick. But now the Czech Republic take the lead. It's kind of a seesaw, kind of back and forth battle that we're seeing here. No one wants to give it up.
Here's Hermannova with service. I'm pretty sure it's going to go to Fendrick. April Ross thinks that she can have it, but Fendrick gets it covered and Fendrick puts it away. Well, they may be targeting the 35-year-old from Hermosa Beach, California, but she's holding her own.
She really is, and that's what the challenge is. If a team comes out and they target you every time, you take it as a challenge that you are going to step up and put that ball away, and that's exactly what Lauren Fendrick has done.
Good service as well from Fendrick. But Slukova tools the ball off the block of Fendrick to go 18-17. Quick side switch once again.
There's that nice hit using the block. You want to, as an offensive player, target the outside of the block, and then you can get that tool, or use, as we call it, and the point. Oh, you do not drop off the net when April Ross is coming in. A big mistake right there by Hermannova, who decides to drop off the net at the last moment, leaving the net wide open. And as physical a player April Ross is, she is just going to blast that ball right at you.
Perfect set, enabling Slukova to get an almost impossible angle on the ball for April Ross to get to. Hermannova doing a great job. Slukova there in slow-mo finishing it.
Slukova just crushed that ball. Got a great approach, nice high arm swing.
Fendrick. Oh, let's leave that one to the linesman.
Oh, this line just called it in the far left corner there, and I believe we're going to have a challenge. The first time that we have had a challenge in this matchup, and that was really close. You get 2 challenges per set. If you're unsuccessful, you can run out of those challenges, but if you are successful, you withhold them. So theoretically, if you have successful challenges, you have unlimited amount of them. The United States challenging that ball was inbounds. The official call was out of bounds, and so they're taking a look at it. This Hawkeye system, very accurate, doesn't miss a thing, and this is going to be a crucial point. Remember, it was called out of bounds. That would take it to 20-18. If that ball's in, we would be all tied up at 19, Nick.
Big point. You can understand why USA have called the challenge. Let's take a close look at the Hawkeye replay.
Oh, I think it might have touched the line. Ball out.
Hawkeye says the ball is out. It is set point for
wow.
the Czech Republic here.
You know what? It almost looked like that line jumped, but I think it was the splash of the sand. When the ball hits the sand, there's kind of a splash effect that happens, and a lot of times that effect will somewhat move the line, not necessarily an indicator that the line is in. That is up to the challenge referees to take a good look. You see how the sun is creeping into that rest area. They're trying to hide Slukova with her legs up, and the sun, as it rises, it has been getting so hot, and all the players have been using ice in these timeouts to kind of cool down, if not physically, but psychologically, because there's just no reprieve. There's no shade out there.
I'm not going to get you tight, but yeah. Good set, just a good
I'm
set.
waiting, watching, yeah. After we get this one, then we maybe go short.
What?
Maybe go short.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah.
There you hear some communication after they get this one. So they will be receiving serve, and they need to pass the ball well to run the offense. And after that, you might see a short serve. Strategizing, the United States trying to keep the Czech Republic off guard. 60+ degrees Celsius down on the sand.
Just to wrap up the first set, Hermannova serving as she has done all morning to Fendrick. Fendrick on the attack. Oh, and it's mission accomplished. America called a timeout, tried to break the rhythm and focus of the Czech players, and they do exactly that. Fendrick told her partner she'd have it away, and she delivers.
She really did. It was almost like clockwork. She says, once we get this next one, then what should we do serving-wise? So they got that next one, but here's the biggie. The Czech Republic, all they have to do is side out, receive serve, and put it away one time, and the first set is there.
Listening into the conversation of the American team at that timeout, they said they were going to serve short. Let's see if she changes her mind. In between the two, I'd say. Slukova on the attack. Oh, it's a fantastic up from April Ross. And again, 21-19. First set goes to Czech Republic. Good try from America to try and pull themselves back into it. Siding out on the first set point, but losing it on the second set point.
April Ross was there. Did you see that defense? She gets to the position. Unfortunately, how I always say, you got to pop that ball high up in the air, but it has to stay on your side of the net. As soon as it goes over, it gives the Czech Republic the advantage. And what does Slukova do? She takes full advantage. They played a solid start to finish match, the Czech Republic, jumping on the Americans early on, but winning in the end by just a 21-19 advantage. There's a look at the match statistics. 15-12 in attacks, 3-0 in blocking for Fendrick, and 2-1 in favor of the Czech Republic in aces. So owning the net is Fendrick.
Let's take a look, Dane, at the spike placement. Red ball tells us that it's been returned, a blue ball unreturned, a yellow ball a winner. Again, all onto the left side of court, nothing to the right side. It's all at Fendrick.
Yeah, you see that kind of moving it all around. It's so important to continue to make your opponent constantly guess. If you're too patterned and you're going to the same spot every time, everyone kind of hones in on that. That's why you have to really vary your game in terms of position, and also vary your speeds in terms of power and finesse.
America must win the second set to take it to a tie-break third. So the heat, and there's plenty of it out there on centre court, is on Team USA. Czech Republic start with service. Fendrick on the attack for the USA. The block from Hermannova is out of play. First point on the board for the Americans. Now they really do need to dig deep and find something special here if they're to go to the quarterfinals and deny the Czech duo.
United States just needs to clean up their serve-receive, number one, and maybe score a few points defensively with April Ross in the backcourt. They have been fine at the net with the blocking of Fendrick.
Lovely back set from Hermannova. Slukova puts it deep into the American court, kissing the baseline of the USA. And April Ross has no answer to this one. Hermannova, service again. The ball is out of play. Well left by the American ladies.
You know, Nick, we were talking about that last round. The U.S. paid Nicole Branna and Emily Day, and Carrie Walsh-Jennings out with that dislocated shoulder a week ago. Emily Day filling in, but wouldn't that have been a fireworks if it was Nicole Branna and Carrie Walsh-Jennings going up against April Ross and Fendrick? Because, of course, April Ross and Carrie Walsh-Jennings went their separate ways after last year. They got that bronze medal in 2016, but they both kind of had different directions, different focuses, so they separated. And a lot of people wish they stayed together, because together, wow, were they an intimidating force.
And Dane, was it a divorce, an ugly one? Are they still friends? What do you mean by going to pursue different pathways? Because I can't agree with you anymore. Why would you let such a brilliant team go their separate ways? Surely the coaches can stop this.
Well, you know, I don't know the interpersonal workings of that relationship, but when you kind of stop having fun, when you stop being on the same page, as if if you were in a business with a partner and you just weren't happy with the ideology of where it was going, you just go your separate ways, because at the end of the day, you want to be having a good time. This is beach volleyball.
It's a very good point that you make, but as an advocate, fan of particularly the women's game in the United States of America, I was particularly disappointed to see two of the best players in the world go their separate ways and start a new learning process with new partners. But they're in charge, not us. We're just here to commentate. They're there to play, and we wish all of the players the best of luck. Most importantly, we wish April Ross the best of luck, because right now they're starting to take the upper hand against the Czech Republic in this second set. There's a challenge out there on a block touch right now.
There's a review. Don't think.
No touch, Hawkeye
No
tells
touch.
us.
Yeah, wow, that is so close. You have to have such a high frame rate to get that good look. And so the challenge is lost by the Czech Republic. Right there, they have one challenge remaining.
So quick side switch with 7 points total on the board. Wearing number 2 in the traditional red, white and blue for the USA, April Ross, serving cross court. Oh, and she's got the first ace. Brilliant play. She's had more than her fair share of service errors, but now she starts to make them count.
April Ross, such an effective server, and she has multiple types of serves. She's got the top spin power serve, and this is her jump float. Oh, and that almost trickles over the net. She's hitting that jump float serve really flat, and almost as if she's trying to clip the top of the net and get that trickler to happen. But if she gets on a run, you better look out. The United States really off to a great start here in the second set.
Hermannova now with service. April Ross sets her partner, Fendrick. Cross court, Hermannova reads it, but doesn't quite get the hands to that high-speed spike from Fendrick in time. 4 clear now, the USA.
Fendrick absolutely unleashing cross court. Hermannova's in the right spot, but the ball is just hit with too much power.
Just over 44 miles per hour. That spike from Fendrick. And that's too deep into the American court. 5 clear now, the USA.
It's always so fascinating in these 2 out of 3 matches in beach volleyball. You'll see one team win, and then the other team will completely wake up, and it can flip. And that's why so many of these matches go to that third set. And right now, the United States really trying to press the issue to force a third set.
Well, the pressure is starting to show. We're starting to see quite a few errors from the Czech team. They're delighted to have got that ball or that point away. And timeout has been called.
On the screen. Score. Up.
Czech Republic have called the timeout. Seen enough. Want a break? 30 seconds they'll get.
Nějak se mi to prostě nedaří. Zkusit kousek víc blíž ke mně, jestli můžeš, když mi se to nedaří, jestli můžeš. Já se to budu snažit furt tlačit dál, bys to měl na pravou ruku.
Well, Dave, my Czech's not very good, but the body language from Hermannova kind of tells us that she's not that happy. She's not too impressed with the way this second set, I should say, is going.
Well, you know what? They're making a lot of errors that we did not see at all in the first set. And that's what happens sometimes when you win the first set. You kind of relax just a little bit, and that other team's a little hungrier because they have the pressure. And that's why it's so important to really jump on your opponent when you've got them down and capitalize. But the United States has completely turned this thing around.
Good shot from Markita Slukova, 29-year-old player from Prague. 13 seasons on the tour, and using all of that experience, as you say, Dane, to not buckle under the pressure from the Americans. That 6-point lead is now down to a 5-point lead. Toes taped up for April Ross, and the tape coming away. Let's hope that doesn't give the American any further problems. Slukova again, serving right to the middle of the 2 American players. Hermannova drops off the net. Slukova has to go over on 2. Ross on the attack. Oh, and she's pushed it too far. Well, it's amazing, isn't it, how things can change after calling the timeout. 2 quick points on the board, and all of a sudden now the Czech team look to be the stronger of the 2.
Yeah, that said, either too inside for April Ross, or she didn't take a straight enough approach, just couldn't get over the top of it. There's a look at the tape job on the foot of April Ross. The hard thing, you know, April Ross actually fractured that toe about 8 weeks ago. It's still healing, of course, but when you try to tape an injury on your foot when you play in the sand, it is so difficult because the tape, it'll come right off, and it's hard to support that. The United States winning that ball right there, going up 10-5.
The work's been done. They just need to have a good run of side out for side out with the Czech team. Try and take as great a lead as possible into the technical timeout, the halfway point of the second set. Hermannova puts the ball up for Slukova. Lovely little cut on the ball. Nice little poke as well with the play. And one of those points is clawed back by the ladies in white and blue.
I hadn't seen that. That a little poke shot cross court, surveying the land and then going the opposite direction of April Ross.
Fendrick attacks for the USA. Good shot from Lauren. Right on the line.
Fendrick looks like a different player in this second set in terms of serve receive. She's passing the ball well. Look at that cross body. Shoulders to the line corner and going cross body with the hit. Nice deceptive move.
Well, that service error is a little frustrating. Still 4 clear, the USA. They lost the first set, 21-19. They have to win the second to take it to a third tiebreak. This for a spot in the quarterfinals, round of 16 elimination phase for the women's competition on centre court today. Hermannova with a good set for her partner, Slukova. Oh! Well, fantastic shot. Ball seemed to sit on top of the net for an eternity, but it drops the side that the Czechs were hoping for.
That is really rolling the dice if you're Slukova. You couldn't get a slimmer margin, just rolling it.
Oh, again, April Ross making sure she's not getting much of the play, but she makes it count when she does, Dane.
She took a lot of court right there to get that serve reception so she would have the ability to hit, and that's what it takes. When your partner's getting served, you move over and you kind of crowd her and you force them to serve a little easier if they really want to go to your partner.
Good side out for the Czech Republic, and 9-12 as we take a 30-second break, halfway point of set 2, but a much different story for the Americans in the first half of this second set. Better game, better serve receive, and the result, more points on the board.
One thing we haven't seen is the blocking prowess of Lauren Fendrick as we did in set number 1. There's a good look, retaping that big toe. She injured it in the AVP New York event, and she's kind of been nursing that injury. You know what, during that tournament, when she hurt her knee, let's listen in for a second. Anyways, in that tournament where she actually broke that toe, she hung in there, Nick, if you can believe it. A testament to how tough April Ross is. She hung in there, won the tournament. They were serving her every time. She could barely jump, barely put pressure on that toe, but she stuck out there. You know, I know a lot of players that probably would have called it a tournament and thought about the rest of summer, but not April Ross. A tough player stayed out there and actually brought home the title.
Oh, Hermannova absolutely delighted to have won that one at the net. It's a big point.
Finally, the Czech Republic getting there in that blocking category. making a big move, and they continue to go to Fendrick.
Down the line for Fendrick, very effective play. Just keeps the advantage with the USA at 13 points to 10, with Fendrick going to the back of court for the USA to take service. Hermannova again, finding confidence and good form. Can do very little wrong at the moment.
That is a hard shot to execute. Kind of a loopy rainbow to the corner as the blocker's retreating. Great execution.
And here's Hermannova's partner, Slukova, with the service. Oh, Hermannova almost there with the block. Into the net and bouncing back into the Czech court.
It's interesting, these teams seated so high, with Hermannova and Slukova seated 6th and Ross and Fendrick 14th, that they haven't run into each other this year. This is the first head-to-head meeting between the two teams. No history. That ball looks like it's out of bounds, but a touch off the block of Lauren Fendrick is going to keep this a 2-point game. If you're the United States, it's kind of nervous time right now. For the Czech Republic, 1-set advantage. This is a little closer than you would like, especially at one point having a 5-point lead.
Yeah, and they're also 1-0 down. Oh, and that's, well, Hermannova. She has the most impressive serve stat on court, but that's got to be a little lucky. Couldn't come at a better time for the Czech Republic, to be honest. Now the American ladies must focus, because it's easy to let shots like that get you down.
Oh, she almost goes for it again. I got to think she's going for the top of the net. She's hitting that ball really flat. And that's the scary thing. When you have a 2-point lead, you got to expect maybe that can happen quickly. That's why you want to get a cushion and be in complete control. Look at Lauren Fendrick serving the ball out of UCLA. I mentioned she's also a lawyer. Passed the bar in 2011.
Oh, that is a timely shot from Slukova. Really given enough space to just have a quick look at the opposition before striking the ball.
Nice shot right there by Slukova. You know, Slukova's been to 2 Olympics. She got 5th place with Kolakova in 2012, a 17th in Rio with her current partner, Hermannova. And that ball ruled up.
14. Here's April Ross. Now's the time to give us one of those aces. Slukova attacks and attacks cross court. Czech Republic within 1 of the USA now.
Slukova has really gone to that angle quite often, so the United States has to make an adjustment. Either Lauren Fendrick slides over and blocks that ball, or April Ross fully commits into that angle, but of course then the line would open up as well.
Oh, perfect play from Hermannova. Well, for a split second, Fendrick thought about leaving that to go out, then she realized it was heading in, and that's part of the reason, I'd say, for the poor serve received.
You have to expect everything when you go back, and Lauren Fendrick should not be surprised. They are pinpointing her every time. And again, an errant play. Not sure why the miscommunication. I think April Ross was trying to come over and help out and relieve the pressure. And that's what she should do. But Lauren Fendrick has to allow her to pass that ball. Right now, it just seems like they're all out of sorts.
Oh, look at this turnaround. Look at the early points at the beginning of the point run scale here for the USA. And look at the end of the graph, 17-16 for the Czech Republic. And that is the disappointment for the American fans. And can Team USA drag themselves out of this? Let's take a look at some virtual graphics right now and study the American game a little closer. The placement of the serve from the USA. Dane, this is their first set service placement, and then their second. They're sticking with the same game plan. It's just not working out.
Well, they went to Hermannova in that first set, now more favoring Slukova. It has worked thus far. The United States built up the advantage. As you said, they built up those breaks, but then the serve receive started to fail them. So this new strategy of going to Slukova has been successful, but you can't afford to give away points on serve receive. You have to pass that first contact well.
Here's Hermannova. Looking to continue that service run, pushes that ball way too deep, justifies the timeout call from the USA. That 30-second break just slows the rhythm, breaks the focus. 17-all, but it's a must-win second set for the USA to stay in the match. Fendrick serves Slukova. Slukova now on the attack. She's been so successful with that shot. Little cut on the ball, little touch and finesse to go with it.
Beautiful set, beautiful offense. Slukova, remember, she was going to that angle. Now she varies, goes right over the top for the line shot.
April Ross and Fendrick on the attack again. And Hermannova gets the better of Fendrick on the joust at the net. And the USA are struggling just a little here now.
That set just a little too close to the net, but it started with a pass that was way off the net. April Ross trying to be aggressive, but the Czech Republic taking advantage of every single error from the United States. And now, you know what, the U.S. has to score a point while serving. Whether it's a block by Fendrick at the net or a defensive play by April Ross, it's pressure time right now.
Indeed it is, Dane. It's pressure time, and it's time for April Ross to deliver. Good service, and it is a delivery from April Ross. Right on call, right on time, tying the scores at 19-all, stopping the Czech team going match point.
April Ross, a four-time best server on the FIVB World Tour, drawing from the well right there when she needed it.
Oh, but then gives it right back immediately to the Czech team. First match point for Hermannova and Slukova. Hermannova has already gone back to the court to try and finish this as quickly as possible. Float serve to Fendrick. It's been the tactic throughout the match. Fendrick on the attack. Cross court. Slukova cannot dig that ball. Scores are all tied at 20-all. America still with a chance of staying in the match.
When you need it, Lauren Fendrick getting full extension, crushing that ball across court. Great play.
Lauren Fendrick, 35-year-old Californian, goes to Hermannova with the service. Set ball from her partner. Over the top of the block, but April Ross has it covered. Over on two from Fendrick. Turns the tables for the USA. 21-20. Set point for the Americans to take it to a third tiebreak.
Well, with that tough serve by April Ross, and that time beautiful defense by the United States, they're able to convert exactly when they need it.
Fendrick with service. Again opting to serve to Hermannova. Hermannova attacks. Belts that ball down to Fendrick, but it is still up. Fendrick has to go over on two. Oh, he's out! The ball is in. Oh, that's got to be worth a challenge, Dane.
Wow, but how about the hit right in the face of Lauren Fendrick? I don't think I've seen that. Look at this, she drops off the net, boom! Right in her face, glasses off, hat off, kind of stunned, but she keeps her bearings and blocks, and this ball poked just inbounds. So some fireworks right there. An incredible hit. Hopefully Lauren Fendrick is okay, but she really took it right off the face right there.
That was like a right hand over the top from a middleweight boxer. Full speed, full power. But Well, they breed them tough out on the beach volleyball court. Fendrick is back, and back to try and keep America in this match.
The question, is she rattled? They're going to serve her again. She has to keep that composure. Beautiful pass right there.
Well, there's your answer, Dane. She wants a vengeance, not fear at all. Set point for the USA, taking us to a third set tiebreak. April Ross needs another one of those big serves. One of the best servers on the women's tour and in the game. Slukova on the attack. Oh, she's put it out of play. We're heading to a third set tiebreak. This match is yet or far from over. Slukova cannot believe how she fumbled that final play. And America take the second set, tying it at 1 set all. It's a sprint set to 15 in the third.
Well, you thought that the life had been sucked out of the Americans, but they dug deep in the clutch, had to go into overtime, winning 23-21. We knew this was going to be close and expected a possible third set. The match statistics right there. Hermannova and Slukova got a couple of blocks to closely even up the blocks, and then 4-5 in favor of the Czech Republic in aces.
Well, after taking a full face hit and a full speed spike, let's take a close look at the US spike direction. Down the line, 34%, cross court, 66%. When the ball has no pin below it, that tells us that it's hit the sand and it's a score. And then the pins indicate how the ball was played back into court. Now here's the replay, Dane, of the most dramatic shot of the match so far.
Wow, that just takes your breath away. And fortunately, look at the focus by Lauren Fendrick. She's able to stay in there. Some people would have fallen to the ground and clutched their face, but not Lauren Fendrick. Tough as nails right there, finishing the play. And I think more important, going back, receiving serve, knowing that the ball's coming her way, and stepping up and siding out. That was really something. You don't see that very often. And Lauren Fendrick really taking it like a champ.
Taking a face hit at 30 miles per hour plus on the ball. Here we go with the third set. There is no technical timeout. We're only going to 15 points, but you have to win by 2 clear points. And the referee just waits for confirmation from his line referee. The first point is on the board for the USA. There is the little kiss of the red tape at the back of court. And a kiss it really is. America with service. April Ross serving Hermannova. Set. And another power play for Czech Republic here. 1-all.
Hermannova on the right side has been effective all afternoon. Crossbody hit, April Ross in the position. But still, that ball hits the sand.
47 miles per hour spike from Hermannova there. This Lauren Fendrick up at the net with Hermannova. Oh, and the ball takes a little second touch off the net, which pushes it back into the Czech court.
What I like about what April Ross is doing, which she wasn't doing early on, when Lauren Fendrick passes the ball off the net, instead of setting her off the net, she's rolling the dice, throwing it up on top of the net, and allowing Lauren Fendrick to kind of joust with the blocker, and it's been successful.
Advantages with the US. Fendrick this time choosing to serve Slukova. Slukova, a very calm, collected shot over the top of Fendrick's block to tie the scores at 2-all.
That poke shot is Slukova's one of her favorites. She's got really good control over it.
Slukova with service. Short float serve to Fendrick again, but Fendrick gets herself out of trouble there. Now we side switch at 5 points total on the board and a calculation thereof rather than 7 in this sprint third tie-break set. We're heading to 15 rather than 21 points to settle it.
And you try to get a cushion here. You don't want to fall into a hole. No technical timeout. It goes by really quickly. You want to jump on the opponent as fast as possible.
Great play from Lauren Fendrick. I think it's fair to say the momentum still with the USA after claiming that second set, Dane.
Absolutely agree. There's a tight set. Lauren Fendrick getting the better of it. Lauren Fendrick, 6'3", going up against the 5'11" Hermannova. Another block by Fendrick.
Oh, well, as she drops off the net, Hermannova sees it quite clearly, plays the ball right at the body to Fendrick.
It's the right move by Fendrick, dropping off the net, and a very smart move by the Czech Republic. You always want to hit at that retreating blocker. Lauren needs to get still, get those hands up a little bit earlier. There's a drop by Slukova, and Fendrick does the same thing. She hits it at the retreating blocker. Remember, the defender's waiting for it. The blocker's retreating, takes a stab at it, and it's hard to get set when you retreat as a blocker at the net.
Fendrick, nice short serve to Slukova. Oh, April Ross finally gets the measure of that cut shot that's been so effective for Slukova, but this time she reads it perfectly.
Poke shot going over on one. It's not easy to control that. I always see Laura Ludwig go over on one. She loves to do that. That time, April Ross holding her poise, waiting for the ball and shooting it to the open court.
Czech Republic call a timeout. 3-point advantage for the United States of America. All players looking a little worn out and dehydrated, cooling themselves down in every which way they can. But two different types of body language from the dugouts there. You can see the American girls want to get on with it, all fired up, adrenaline still pumping. The body language for me, Dane, from the Czech ladies, looking a little dejected, a little tired, and a little weary from the heat.
A little frustrated. They may have given it their all right there at the end of the second set, and they came up short, and now they just have to get that momentum back on their side and just refocus. They are not out of this thing by any means.
Slukova on the attack, but at the net, Fendrick with the first block. She's there to pick it up on the second. April Ross over on two. Now Slukova attacks. And Fendrick with the block! And she really is starting to find her A game at the crucial point in the match.
Yeah, Fendrick has owned the net. That's been the difference. She got a little bit quiet in the second set, and they had to use their defense and consistency to win. But if you're getting blocks at the net, if you're scoring that quickly, it gives you a huge advantage. And right now, the United States up 4 points. The Czech Republic has to figure things out quickly.
Third block of the match for Fendrick. And look how much confidence it gives her now with service. Slukova is her target. It's nice and short. Over on two from Hermannova. Here's April Ross. Finds the perfect little pokey to get the ball down onto the sand. The USA are 5 clear, and they're starting to dominate in this tie-break set.
They really are. They're doing everything smart. They're keeping the ball in, they're recognizing where the open court is, and they're communicating with one another. And most importantly, they're executing their shots and putting all sorts of pressure on the Czech Republic, who has not had an answer here in the third set.
Again, the target is Slukova with the American service. Off the fingertips of Fendrick as she's breaking back off the net here.
I like the idea, but Lauren Fendrick needs to retreat quicker and get to the spot, get stopped, and then should be able to make a much better play defensively. Now watch out right now. This is where you really have to watch out. That ball not even close to being out, and Lauren Fendrick hoping it is. That's a foot inbound. You cannot allow that ball to fall. She has to play the close ones right here.
And there are no easy points at this level of beach volleyball. Fendrick looks to make amends. Slukova covers. Hermannova sets. And another point. Very quick point on the board. Well, it looks like Fendrick wants to challenge.
Yeah, I believe there was a block touch maybe on that last play, and Fendrick was thinking that there was then 4 contacts. Did the Czech Republic touch the ball?
By USA for block touch.
Okay. So the ball was hit over on the Czech Republic side. It almost looked like the blocker touched it. If she touched it, then you only have 2 contacts after that. If she didn't touch it, then you have 3 contacts. So therefore, if there's a touch right here, which it doesn't look like there is, then it would be a 4 contact violation on the Czech Republic. The Hawkeye system will take a look, and the United States using their first challenge here in the 3rd set. And it's a good challenge at that. I actually questioned whether the ball was touched and couldn't tell real time. But the Czech Republic, the drama builds as the replay refs take a look. Looks like no touch.
No touch at all, and the Hawkeye completely agrees with you, Dane. So, 1 challenge remaining for the USA, but remember, this is the 3rd set. We're only heading to 15 rather than the usual 21 in sets 1 and 2. April Ross sets for Fendrick. Wow, ball is out of play, and they've narrowed that gap to just 1 point now as we take another side switch.
And I believe it was 8-3. You're completely in the driver's seat at that point, and now unforced errors abound, and the United States letting the Czech Republic right back in it. Need to stop the bleeding right now.
Well, good play from Lauren Fendrick, taking the ball over onto...
Actually, April Ross taking the ball
Dane, my apologies.
into her hands. So she's relieving some pressure right there from Lauren Fendrick. Remember, Lauren Fendrick getting every single serve this match, it seems.
Hermannova sets the ball up.
Oh, a double contact. Wow, we haven't seen a double contact or a lift on an open hand, on a 2-handed overhand set. But right there, we get our first call. It's a judgment call by the referee. That ball didn't come out cleanly, and the referee believed it was contacted twice.
Good shot from Slukova. Advantage is still with the USA. 2 points clear. This is a real test for all 4 players on court now. Remember, Czech Republic won the first, 21-19. The United States won the second, 23-21. Hermannova serve and right up at the net. Off her fingertips. Oh, well, they try their best, but they can't keep that ball up. It's 11-8.
April Ross right there, finally getting some offensive action. Ball's touched and almost saved. Slukova and Hermannova, they just need to pass that ball solid, run that offense, because they haven't had a lot of trouble scoring points. That's too tight.
Oh, good play from Slukova. She had no choice but to go over on 2 because of the poor serve receive, but she gets herself out of trouble really nicely here.
How about the athleticism of Slukova, just floating through the air with complete balance and then twisting that body to get the kill.
Oh, service error gives the point right back to the USA. And when it's as tight as this, that's a costly mistake for the Czech team. April Ross is at the back of the American court, 12-9. Victory is so close for the USA. Hermannova with the set for Slukova. Great play from the Americans. The finish comes from April Ross, but perfect passing for the American team.
That is such a great shot by April Ross, finally getting in the action with a beautiful defensive play and then seeing the court so well.
Oh, and she's at the net. It's match point for the United States of America. 14 points to 9. Finishing up this third tiebreaker in great style, the Americans.
What a block. Lauren Fendrick has dominated at the net, completely owning, and the United States starting to run away with this.
It's all over. What a turnaround for America. What an amazing game from Lauren Fendrick and April Ross. Superb stuff.
That was absolutely amazing. The Americans have to be happy with themselves, the way they turned it around in the end.
Beautiful play. Well, the Czech Republic will be thinking, where did that go wrong? They came out in the first set with all cylinders firing, 21-19. Team USA dig deep to take the second set, 23-21, but take the match in the third with some quality play. Wonderful blocking from Lauren Fendrick, defense and attack from April Ross give the United States of America a 2-1 victory and a place in the quarterfinals. Super block from Fendrick to wrap it all up. Let's not forget that it wasn't just a few moments away that Fendrick had her hat, glasses, and almost her face taken off from a high-speed spike from Slukova. She shows no fear or intimidation whatsoever. Blocks the last play of the match to give the USA the victory.